what the market is really looking at the moment is how companies are performing. I think what Donald Trump actually has to say about Hong Kong will have some implications for economic growth in Hong Kong and also China and America. But ultimately, I think the market is actually betting on other things as well, other than some kind of economic revival. Me personally, I don't think we're going to see any kind of economic recovery, but instead, I think we're going to be seeing profits recoveries from companies, and that is really what the market is buying into at the moment, profits recovery.
Unpack that for us a little bit more, because to me that sounds counterintuitive. We're not going to have an economic recovery, but we'll have a profit recovery. So seemingly companies will have to trim some of the fat. People will lose jobs. So then how do companies make profits if there aren't going to be as many people employed and we don't have an economic recovery?
Yeah, well, that's a really good point. I think what we're going to see is, or what we're not going to see is sales growth. We're not going to see any kind of sales growth. I think companies are going to be constrained in terms of whether or not they're going to be able to raise prices. I don't think they're going to be able to do that simply because there isn't that kind of demand there. But what they will do, of course, is to trim costs. And the kind of cost that is easiest to trim really is labor costs. And when we have a look at the number of people who are out of work at the moment around the world, I think unfortunately for a lot of these people, finding a job after the pandemic subsides in some ways, I think is going to be very hard to come by. So in other words, I think the unemployment levels are going to remain pretty high, and it's going to be very dismal for, I think, a lot of people who are out there looking for jobs. But as far as companies are concerned, they're just going to continue to cut costs. In other words, the people who are out of work are not going to be returning to work. And that is the way that the market is thinking at the moment. And they're buying into this profits recovery rather than an economic recovery.